Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. A report by an abortion tracking initiative claims that thousands of babies are alive today as a result of the US Supreme Court's ruling in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. There were 25,640 fewer abortions in the 9 months following the Dobbs ruling, which over a year ago permitted states to determine their own abortion laws. The report was made public by WeCount on the 15th of June. Over 930,000 abortions, however, were recorded in the US in 2020, the most recent year for which data is publicly available. The WeCount report found that after the Dobbs decision on the 24th of June in 2022, the increase in abortion in states where abortion was allowed did not make up for the decrease in states where abortion was banned. A recently released report by the University of Barcelona covers multilateral efforts that seek to end armed conflicts through peaceful mechanisms. Peace Talks in Focus 2022 details diplomatic, political, military, social and humanitarian activities going on throughout the world right now. It was compiled by academics from the university's School for a Culture of Peace. The report provides an overview of conflicts by continent and nation, outlining the many contexts in which they occur. The study also says that Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February last year had an impact on the development of a significant number of peace negotiations last year. The Catholic Church is currently involved in 8 peace negotiations in Africa, America and in Europe. 3 students who were kidnapped during the June the 17th attack on Lhubiriha Secondary School in the Kasese district in western Uganda were able to escape from their captors. According to a spokesperson for the Ugandan army, the attackers transported the hostages to the neighbouring Democratic Republic of the Congo, from which they were eventually able to escape. The military claims that there are still 3 students in the terrorists' possession, although other sources claim that there were at least 20 hostages taken during the raid. 20 people have been arrested for the school attack that resulted in 42 deaths, including 37 children. The army blamed the Allied Democratic Forces group, but the terrorist group has not yet claimed responsibility for the killings. Sam Brownback, who is a former ambassador-at-large for worldwide religious freedom and other Christian leaders, said in a press conference on Tuesday that the continued conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia threatens the existence of Christian communities in the Near East. He says the invasion of Armenia by Azerbaijan and its continued blockade of the Nagorno-Karabakh region is an attempt at a religious cleansing of the country of Christians. Brownback said that Azerbaijan, with Turkey's backing, is slowly strangling Nagorno-Karabakh. 5 political parties have raised the alarm about the shifting demographic balance in Iraq's Nineveh plains. Christian leaders and activists expressed concerns over large-scale illegal real estate operations in the Nineveh plains, where the Chaldean, Assyrian and Syriac communities have their roots. In a signed document, leaders of the 5 parties denounced the fact that the municipalities of Nineveh are encouraging transactions for the sale and ownership of residential lands in the centre of the Talkeif district to non-Christians who are not from the area. The leaders warned that these land acquisitions change the demographic balance between the various components of the Iraqi population in a manner that responds to a sectarian mentality and is a blatant violation of constitutional law. An appeal was made to the Prime Minister to intervene immediately and halt any measures to distribute lands in the areas of the historic settlements of the indigenous Christian communities in Iraq. Perth Archbishop Timothy Costello has said that the Western Australian government's initiatives to make abortion more accessible will be distressing for many. Archbishop Costello said that life is simply too valuable to be snuffed out in such a manner. The state government recently submitted reforms to the Parliament to expedite access to abortion. If adopted, the law would eliminate the requirement for a doctor's referral for an abortion, eliminate the need for counselling, and remove abortion from Western Australia's penal code. The Archbishop's statement said that to force the doctor by law to refer a patient to a medical practitioner whom the doctor knows will agree to perform an abortion is to force the doctor to be complicit in a procedure that he or she believes to be immoral. He insisted that secular societies which truly believe in fundamental human rights do not seek to force people to act in violation of their ethical or religious beliefs. A United Nations report on human rights in Iran has revealed a record number of executions last year, including the arrest of thousands of children and claims of torture by security forces. UN Deputy Human Rights Chief Nada al-Nashif delivered the report to the Human Rights Council in Geneva. She said that 582 people were executed last year. That's a 75% increase compared to the previous year, during which 333 people were reportedly executed. The report focuses on changes that have occurred since the start of widespread demonstrations in response to the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini on the 16th of September last year at the hands of so-called morality police. Nearly 2,000 seminarians in Poland walked together on a pilgrimage to the Marian shrine of Jasna Gora in Częstochowa. The Jasna Gora Pilgrimage Centre hosted the 6th pilgrimage of Polish seminarians earlier this month. The highlight of the pilgrimage was Holy Mass at the Basilica of Jasna Gora, which was presided over by the prefect of the dicastery for the clergy, Cardinal Lazaro U. Hyung-sik. In his homily addressing the seminarians, the cardinal said they can be assured that the Heavenly Mother would embrace them and that she wanted to raise future priests to follow Jesus. The results of a federal test known as the Nation's Report Card says mathematics and reading scores among America's 13-year-olds fell to their lowest levels in decades. The National Centre for Education Statistics scores showed that mathematics scores had fallen to their lowest level since 1990 and reading scores had fallen to their lowest since 2004. The report noted that there had been a noticeable fall in performance since the 2019-2020 academic year after the outbreak of COVID-19. The National Assessment for Educational Progress test was administered in the fall of 2022. The Conference of Catholic Bishops in Belarus has raised concerns over the government's plans to tighten laws that affect the faithful. The government is set to amend the law on freedom of conscience and religious organisations, which could go as far as abolishing freedom of conscience altogether. According to the Commissioner for Religious and Ethnic Affairs, Alexander Rumak, the amendments are required in order to modernise relations between the authorities and religious organisations. However, the bishops warned that religious organisations would face new restrictions and control by the authorities because of the amendment. Pope Francis has appointed Archbishop Ettore Balestrero as the Vatican's permanent observer at the United Nations. Archbishop Balestrero will also represent the Vatican at the World Trade Organization and the Office of the United Nations and other specialised agencies in Geneva. The Holy See Press Office announced the Italian-born Archbishop's appointment on Wednesday. He was serving as the Apostolic Nuncio to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The prelate succeeds Archbishop Fortunatus Nwachukwu, who was named Secretary for the Vatican's Dicastery for Evangelization on March the 15th. Born in Genoa in 1966, Archbishop Balestrero was ordained a priest for the Diocese of Rome at the age of 26. He has also served as the Vatican Under-Secretary for Relations with States from 2009 to 2013. Pro-life advocates in the American state of Wisconsin have decried the passage of a bill in the state assembly that enables pharmacists to prescribe abortifacient pills without a doctor's approval. The Republican-authored measure was passed on Wednesday with broad bipartisan support. The bill requires Senate approval before it reaches Governor Tony Evers, who supports it. Although the bill failed to make it to the Senate floor last session after passing the Assembly, its sponsor Joel Kitchens said he was optimistic it would receive the necessary support this time. Under the current law, most such pills are available to women only with a prescription from a physician or advanced practice nurse in Wisconsin. An abducted Nigerian Catholic priest has been freed after 6 days of captivity. Father Anthony Adiku was released unharmed on the 20th of June in the West African country. He serves as the parish priest of St. Margaret's Parish in the Ohimini local government area of Benue State. The priest was kidnapped on the 16th of June from his residence. Soon after this, police officials deployed men to track down the suspected kidnappers, which led to the priest's rescue. Nigeria is witnessing an increase in violence after the presidential election. The latest kidnapping is reportedly the second in Benue State in the last week. As Lebanon's crisis escalates for a fourth consecutive year, families are barely able to meet their most basic needs, and in many cases they are even sending their own children out to work to make ends meet. According to the United Nations Humanitarian Aid Organization for Children, nearly a third of Lebanese children go to bed hungry. UNICEF's latest survey revealed that 9 in 10 households said they do not have enough money to buy essentials, and more than 1 in 10 Lebanese families send children to work to make ends meet. The survey also highlighted a mental health crisis among children in the country. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow for more. And do remember, you can always visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.